Welcome back, fellow Marvel Legends fans. Solid Dave Snake here, continuing my reviews on the brand new X-Men Marvel Legends Juggernaut Build-A-Figure series with my review of Rogue. And this is a Marvel Legend I have been waiting for a while. Toy Biz has did it back in their Marvel Legends days in a box set and did a horrible job with the 90s version of Rogue. So I am extremely happy that Hasbro has decided to redo it and integrate her in this series. And if you've seen my previous video, I did a Throwback Thursday showing everybody the very first Rogue action figure ever made by Toy Biz back in 1994. The little smaller 4-inch figure. So if you want to check that out, I'll put a link in the description below. But very happy to get this Rogue. I would say she is my either second or third favorite from this series. I have yet to pick up Deadpool, but I really love the brown suit Wolverine. She may be slightly ahead of him on my favorites from this series, but just really well done. Doesn't come with many accessories, but of course a Juggernaut Build-A-Figure piece, the left leg, and it's heavy, so it's telling me this is going to be a big, sturdy action figure. But the other accessory she comes with is actually very fitting. It is a replacement hand. And if you're familiar with Rogue from the comic book or the cartoon movies, you'll know her superpower is when she has skin-to-skin contact, she can absorb another mutant's powers, or even a human, just drain their energy. Of course, she drains mutants' energy too when she touches them. But it's very simple to do. You just pop off the hand, and then there's this little extension for the glove piece to give it a realistic look, accurate look to how it looks in the comic book. So once you remove that, you can just pop the bare hand in, and it's in a perfect grabbing pose, like she's getting ready to absorb your powers. So that's really cool. Great addition. Just like with Wolverine's hands without claws, I like these extra pieces. With a lot of these superhero characters, unless they have guns or some crazy accessories like that, a lot of them, they have a hard time thinking of what kind of accessories to give them. But these different hand options or head options, and even now they're starting with the power effects. I really like what Hasbro is doing with all the new accessories. So they're on the right path. Now let's just take a look at this Rogue from head to toe, and it is almost perfect. One of my favorite Marvel Legends overall this year. Head sculpt is amazing. Look at her hair. Like it's flowing in the wind while she's flying. They did a great job with the gray patch, and even added in that bandana and a little extra piece here. This is actually plugged in and glued. And just the face sculpt in general. That definitely screams Rogue to me. Great job with the lips, great job with the eyes. Hasbro did a good job with the paint apps on this one. Even has slightly rosy cheeks. I don't know if that'll come out well on camera, but it's definitely noticeable to the naked eye. And I love how they integrated her jacket here. This is actually a separate piece, and the sleeves on the arms are a molded piece. So if you popped off the arms, you could take off the jacket, but then it wouldn't match up with her arms. You would have to replace this section of her arms as well if you just wanted her with the costume without the jacket. But of course I prefer her with this jacket on. However, it is a little noticeable right in between where the joint connects into the shoulders. You can see a little bit of the suit underneath breaking up the jacket. But besides that, very well executed. And the red X's came out pretty good. Paint app's a little choppy on this one, but that'll vary. And the black line work on here turned out great. The X on her chest. And just the overall figure for Rogue is great. I think this uses part of that black cat mold, but very attractive. Very attractive body mold for this. I love how they did this with the gloves, adding in that separate piece. And her belt came out really nice as well. Little pouches all throughout, red X on the front. And I don't think you could take this off unless you actually cut the belt. And the overall green parts of her costume really shine. It almost has that marbleized look to it. And they did something a little different with the knees here. These are actually separate pieces for her boots coming up over her knees, which really turned out good. I thought this was a well thought out idea as well, because you can separate them from the actual joint for when you want to bend it. So Hasbro really thought out this figure when they were making it. So overall, she looks great, and her articulation is very good. The head is on a ball joint. Of course, it's going to be restricted from the hair. You could rotate it 360 degrees if it wasn't for the hair. And she'll look that high and that far down. And of course, her shoulders are on a ball joint and hinge, which will extend out to 90 degrees and do 360 degrees of rotation. Single jointed elbows. Most of the female figures only have that, which will go that far up 90 degrees and hyperextend backwards and rotate all the way around. And same thing on the hand. It's on that peg and a hinge, so it'll hinge that far up, that far back, and spin all the way around. She has a very nice ab crunch, so you can tilt it back for those flight poses, and it'll go this far forward. And of course, you can rotate it there as well, because there is no hip cut, so you cannot rotate her here at the waist. And her legs will kick out this far, kick this high up, about 90 degrees, this far back. And of course, she does have a cut here, rotates all the way around. And those double jointed knees are great with this extra piece here. Can get her all the way back to her calf touching her thigh. And she has no cuts down here at the boot, but she does have the peg on the foot that'll go this far down, this far up, and get that ankle pivot as well. So overall, awesome action figure. If you're an X-Man fan, especially mainly from that 90s era, this is a must-have. Definitely a great Rogue, the best Rogue Marvel Legend that has been done. And if you're building that roster of 90s X-Men, a must pick up. And just overall, one of the better Marvel Legends this year, in my opinion. Hasbro really thought out this figure, every little facet of her costume. They figured out a nice way around it with the gloves and the knee pads. Very well done. So, alright everybody, stay tuned because I have more X-Men Marvel Legend reviews coming. So I'll catch you then.